Welcome to Sunday COMiX Brunch. It's going to be a quicker show than normal, 60 minutes, because we have an award show tonight, so we're treating this as the pre-show. We're going to go over what you can still vote on. There's still time to vote on. We're going to talk to Meredith about Linktree, because, of course, I have stock in that, and I want it to rise. And we're going to talk about Enter the Continuum, and maybe even talk about my chain link site if we have time. Plus, we've changed the newsroom. The COMiX Newswire has been upgraded for a more user-friendly and hopefully a better experience overall. We got a lot going on. I got hair ties in my goatee. We got to get going, so we're going to roll with the credits because we only have 60 minutes today. We will open the floor for anyone to come in, but understand we are on a tight crunch today. For the show. We're trying to also test to see if Sunday COMiX Brunch should be an hour. So for the next couple weeks, you'll see a quicker 60-minute show. We'll probably go back to the 2-hour format once the awards are done, but we want that time between now and the awards to be able to talk to people and get the awards out there. So I am going to do our intro to the brunch. I'll see you on the other side of this. Welcome to the Sunday COMiX Brunch, where we dine on comics and comics headlines, hosted by Mr. Anderson and Meredith Logren. Join them and their guests as they go over the comics headlines from this week and their projects, brought to you by the COMiX Newswire and Geek Insider. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, so Meredith, tell us about Linktree.
I do not have stock in Linktree, nor do I have...
I do now. I invested.
You down. I use Linktree. Okay, so hey guys, I'm Meredith Logren. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast, one of the founding members of Terraform Comics, and we've got a Kickstarter happening right now. You want to get over there and maybe just pledge for $1, because you can get a story from the Continuum. And Linktree, you can find all of my links wherever it is that I do my socials and blog and vlog and live stream, right over there. Plus, there's a link at the very top to go to the Kickstarter. So back to you, Rob. Linktree.com/MEREJ99. That is where you can find me. Oh, and there's a monkey. There's a monkey in your seat.
We're monkeying around today. I'm doing a quick, before we went live, you guys will see some pre-recorded videos I did for the awards. And I'm heading to the beach right after this to film another video for the Eclipse story, part of the Continuum. So it keeps going today.
You're going to the beach? Yeah, getting all sexy videos for Eclipse.
Well, it's going to have Mike Seeley, so you know it's going to be sexy.
You know what? I want a tiny clip of maybe you two skipping down the beach. That would make my day.
We're not going to have an assistant to do that. I'm sorry to break you.
Oh, man.
You know, all you would see is like... Sorry.
ICA Awards tonight. And
yes.
Voting closes at 4 p.m. Eastern, you guys.
Actually, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go all the way to 6.
Really?
I'm going to play Loose and Dangerous. We're going to try it out today because it's art. Get excited. Here we are. Do your thing.
Is there okay, all right. I mean, are there really some close?
Yes, we're going to get into that in just a minute. I do want to say everyone's welcome in. Nita, you can jump on in.
I sent an invite over to Chuck because he's hosting next week. I don't know if he's moving around or what.
Well, he's in Texas, and they've been having some rough weather. So we don't hear from him today. You know, I hope he's warm. I know Texas has gone through hell the last couple of weeks. It's been a wild, man. It's still wild. Like we all told ourselves 21 was going to be better. And in some ways, don't get me wrong, we've seen some glimmers of hope. We see the end at the light at the end of the tunnel and all that.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like 21 saying, hold my beer.
Well, you know what it is? And I said this to someone. Remember, we didn't start getting into shit till March. So maybe there's like a 12-month thing on this. Maybe
I don't know. I hope there's an expiration date. Trust
April?
me.
April? I mean, it's only tax season.
Yeah, right around Easter. Yeah.
People will get some money, maybe. I don't even know. Oh, I'm so confused by life right now. I woke up with a headache. Don't mind me. Yeah, little different format today because we're going to be using the Sunday COMiX Brunch as a pre-show. The reason we're also testing 1 hour videos is because not only is Meredith getting busier with all the responsibilities she has, but we're going to be on the road hopefully this year. We're starting to gear up to look at going on the road. So where do you want to start? We can start at the Continuum. We can go over to the awards, or we can see the new newsroom.
Since you mentioned it, how about the highway? I mean, do you have anything queued up for the highway that you've been doing?
Not close, but coming. We'll have something in March. We will have stuff. February, it's been small shows, and I'm very nervous about promoting smaller shows that don't ask me to be promoted because we don't want them. Yeah, we've just seen numbers start to get better, like really start to get better. We're to the point where it's like, okay, things are getting better. So I am excited about that number-wise. For you guys all know what we're talking about. We just can't say it because then the guy, you want to laugh. So I guess we'll start with Continuum. So the video I'm going to shoot today is for Eclipse. It's about a Hawaiian protector who is protecting his island as a superhero. It is a comic book. I got flagged today on the actual page we created for Eclipse that the information we were giving was false. And I was like, in this case, you're absolutely right. It is false. It's called fiction.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Facebook literally did that. Like, I mean, that just tells you that Amazon's AI is way ahead of Facebook. Because Amazon knows what I want. It even tells me things I didn't know I wanted until I see it. Facebook is like, that's false information. Of course it is, dumbass. It's called fiction.
Wow.
They're like, please, you cannot spread things about, the C-1-9 that's inaccurate. And I'm like, it had nothing to do with that. What are you talking about? I think it thinks it's like an insurrection piece, a Hawaiian hero. I'm going back to bed. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm done with today. Like, that's what I woke up to first thing, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but let's for those who don't know what it is, enter the Continuum while I go unleash my Facebook from being private, so we can actually start seeing some comments because I just saw something pop up. And we'll start with Eclipse. So this is what they flagged as misleading information.
Hello, and thank you for your interest in the story of Eclipse. This is a tale of a hero whose sole purpose and priority is to protect the islands of the Pacific in Hawaii, his home. My name is Mike Seeley, and I'm the creator and artist for Eclipse.
In the wake of tragic events, a superpowered being has become a person of interest. With his intentions being unclear, bringing him in may be the only choice to keep the Hawaiian Islands safe. Can Eclipse be trusted, or is he hiding his true nature? One that has the potential to burn down the Hawaiian Islands he calls home.
The story of Eclipse is a catalyst to introduce a universe with the sole purpose of evoking excitement, wonder, and interest in what we all have grown to love in our favorite superhero comics and movies. Thank you for watching this video, and please consider backing, sharing this project to all your social media sites.
Hey.
Go ahead, introduce someone. Either introduce her or have her introduce herself. This is just weird and awkward now. There's going to be a fight again. There's going to be a Reaper's fight. I could eat more than you, bitch.
Oh, for anybody who doesn't know, yes, Nita Lanning, the other Lanning, so she says, is here, and Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Well, you just introduced me. I'm
Well,
just
you-
Nita
more.
Lanning.
More. So much more.
Okay, well, I'm out promoting freaking the Continuum right now. Let's see. We have a YouTube channel together, Meredith and I, Raging. So check us out. And let's see what else. I can be found on social media as Creating Chaos 24/7, pretty much everywhere.
Love it.
All right. So here we go. So Mike James already says, David Summy has a page in the awards, and I'm hopeful he wins. He did Amazing Old West Rider and his horse. We'll go over that in just a minute. Let's see what else we got. Trish says, put the phone in the sand and skip down the guy. No. Because sand in iPhones is actually very bad, kids. It is like death to an iPhone if it gets in the ports. Like the certain ports, I know because I experienced the problem, and it took me forever to get sand particles out to save a phone. Nope, won't do that. I can't even skip. With my back, I can't even skip. Like, it's just not going to happen, guys. Maybe I'll have him wheel me in a wheelchair on the sand.
At least hold hands walking down the beach. I mean, come on, dude. Give us something, Rob. Give us something.
I'll hold my own hand. All right. March is Trish's birthday month. Yay!
Me too.
All right. Yeah, her too.
What? Superheroes aren't real? Some are. Nurses, doctors, and I know this is going to be controversial, but cops, because cops save lives. I know it's not popular now, but it still happens, and I've had cops in my family, and I've had police in my family, so, you know, that they're important. We also have teachers who are
I just can't believe that Facebook
Eclipse.
dinged Eclipse.
It's just,
I mean, like,
That's
what,
hilarious.
At what point is like our fictional characters? It's just like, okay, do you know?
I want that thing
what
from
fiction is?
Chasing. I want the thing from Chasing Amy when Ben Affleck's like fictional characters. And send it just to Facebook, just for you, Facebook.
You know, Rob, this makes me wonder too, okay? Because, you know, we all have seen The Terminator, and it's just the beginning of Skynet. Maybe this is their, I don't know, their pilot
So we're getting
season.
retarded Terminator.
It's their pilot season.
We're getting their clone, like the clone, the stormtrooper version of the AI.
Right.
Coming to kill, falls over, help me, somebody put me up.
Yeah,
Help.
there you go. This is just a sneak preview. They're like, oh, we got to work on that now. Okay. Well.
Trish, what book? What book are you talking about? Iva? Because I see Iva back there.
I've got a lot of stuff behind me.
I can't make out any of the other ones.
All right, so I had a boo-boo, and I had ordered Yi Sun Shin book 2 from Henri Compton, and I was just like, oh, crap, I can't even read that until I get book 1. She had a few copies. She sent me one. Thank you. So I've got it right behind me.
Well, I've never been called a lady before, but thank you, Trish.
Well, Rob, we both know who she's talking to.
That's not true. One time in the lockup, I got called a lady. Comic Talk with Pops Fan Sensei. What is going on here? Hello, people. We're talking about awards. We're talking about awarding creators who didn't give up in 2020. We're talking about Enter the Continuum, and we're talking about the new newsroom that we have for the COMiX Newswire.
And Pops and I think we are in the same category as Rookie of the Year, along with a few other people. I want it, Pops. I want it. You go down.
Deserve it.
That's what they make plastic bags for. Good morning, Christopher. How you doing?
Good morning.
Says Nita. Wheelchairs and sands are not friends. I know. That's why I thought it would be funny, because Mike could be the one pushing it. Trust me, I understood what it was going to be. I've been there before.
He'll just pick you up because he's a muscular guy. He'll just pick you up and run with you, right?
Sure. Mike, I hope you're watching, because you're getting director notes right now. I was making fun of the Facebook dinging Eclipse for being false. Yeah, right? Right? Like, oh my God. Like, that's only me. Only me. There's all these boo books out there that have nipples showing, like giant nipples. I put out Barbara Unleashed cover with nothing wrong with it, but because I dare mention it's an educational fetish book, 1,000 people, oh my God, you can't talk about that.
Yeah.
But I can horror any character I want, as long as I don't take sex and human sexuality seriously. I can do that.
Mm.
Trisha's returned to work. Oh. Next weekend is COMCon 11, our 12th COMCon.
Wow.
We won't be promoting that, Pops, because next weekend is the awards. So there is we just canceled COMCon.
Oh.
I'll be fair. Pops, you can have COMCon till 6 p.m. on Sunday. Then it's over. It's just over. Like, just send everyone home. Be like,
our shows aren't going to be all day, so it's we basically have it slated for a 2-hour slot, right?
1 hour. Every show is 1 hour. The final one is 2.
I really
well,
thought
then I messed up my calendar.
Yeah, no, you kept thinking it was at 4 o'clock too.
I know. You know what?
Like, it starts at 4. It's 7 hours. It's gonna be like a cut. No, Meredith, 1 hour.
Gosh.
The only reason the last night will be 2 hours will be, of course, because we're adding in memoriam, and we'll have like a pre-show. The idea is to wrap it up in about an hour to 90 minutes, and then do a pre-show. And that has something to do with what we're gearing towards. Because if you're going to do anything, you do it right. That means you're also planning your next year. And we're planning the next year. We're going to learn a lot from this year. We're going to take a lot of what worked. We're going to be good. You guys are going to hear about it tonight. We already have dates. We already have dates for next year. We have a plan for next year. We've already been working things out. You learn as you go, and you start taking notes. I can't tell you, my notepad is full of 252 notes. Because I'm always taking a note. I'm always jotting something down. Meredith says something. I'm like, that's a good idea. And we're working things out. And then all of a sudden when I go to a meeting, I've got this notepad full of notes. And they're like, wow, Rob's really on the ball. No, Rob just takes notes. Well, he takes all the nuggets as you go, and he puts them together. And that's how you do things. So it's what we've been doing with the awards. So you're going to see something. Thank you, Mike. I saw that you said Barbara Unleashed was amazing. Is 5 p.m. Central Time. Central's 1 hour behind us, so that should be it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's our go time.
Yep. And Pops fans hits.
No. They'll come into my stream for the reward. Thank you very much, sir. You might be on your 12th one, but this is our second year. That means our awards are older than your shows, buddy. That's right. Okay? Okay, buddy?
We love you, Pops.
We love you, Pops.
We love you.
Pops
Stop giving him a hard time, you.
He's gonna like schedule like the biggest fucking guest just to fuck. He's like, I got Jim Lee at 6 p.m. on Sunday, Rob. Fuck you.
Yeah, we'll get like Billy Tucci or something. It's like screw your awards.
You can see Billy Tucci once a week at 10 p.m. on his own show.
We love you, Pops.
Yeah, all right. So we'll get back to comments in a little bit. We're gonna shift gears. We were talking about Enter the Continuum. I'm so proud of the reception we've gotten. A lot of people are very curious about it. They really want to know what's going on. We're trying to give as much information as we can to everyone. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me or Meredith or Luke Stone. Luke will probably send you to us because we are the ones running it. Now, to be clear, because there was a bit of a rumor going around, and I would just want to put it to the end, Terraform is about the partners coming together to create something with one voice. But there are different, and right now we have 7 partners who all come together, and it's our voices that are coming together that really give you what Terraform is. It's not one person. That's the magic of Terraform, is it's a think tank that's creating and changing the landscape of comics. The Continuum kind of proved that. This is something that you really haven't seen before. I know a couple of people will ask me, well, isn't this just the Advocator? And don't get me wrong. I enjoyed my time on the Advocator. The difference, I think, is the fact that you're now getting a lot of people looking at the book. Mm-hmm. Everyone who submits this goes through 7 different pairs of eyes with everyone with experience in comics, from fan to people who've put things out, to people working with publishers, to people who are even publishers. Remember, Varian's been a publisher on his own, and he still has Last Call Comics. We have the insight. We have Mike Seeley, who's great at marketing, and he's been helping us with marketing. Meredith is the editorial control behind it. You guys have been seeing Nita a lot. We at Terraform, we do something called Proxy. And basically, if you're married, we consider your partnership both. So C and Nita are Terraform. to us. They are the seventh partner. So you might see Mike say something, or you might see Nita say something, and that's perfectly fine. That's also changing the landscape, because I said this a long time ago. And again, we tell you about the internal happenings at Terraform because we don't hide who we are. That's part of changing the landscape. We're very, if it's not something that we can't share, we do share. Go ahead.
And I did want to point out something. We have a hashtag that's going out on social media, thanks to Mike. And I think this was Luke's idea, and Mike is going out there. Hashtag I am Terraform. I mean, if you're a creator and you want to step up your game, or you just love comics, period, use that hashtag and just put out some awareness, because you're going to be seeing a lot more on the social media. We're ramping it up. I am Terraform. Easy peasy. Now this cover is gorgeous.
God, I love it. I love
Gorgeous.
Yeah, but just to finish up, because I want to show this to everyone. Thank you, Russ Leach, by the way. Just to finish up what I was saying about the Terraform and the whole thing, we're very transparent. Our actual and I think we have to look over it just because there's a spacing issue in it on our group. But in our group for Terraformed Continuum is the contract that you guys would have signed. We've always talked about it, honestly. You know, we don't want to own anyone's art that comes into the Continuum. So the big change between the Advocator was that. The Advocator was always meant to be smaller stories from pre-established franchises that literally led you into that. This is something that's a little bit more. It doesn't focus on Kickstarter. It doesn't focus on the in-between. This is about building a library. This is about putting content in that's going to be reproduced indefinitely. When you tell us we're allowed to have this, that's it. It's now part of the library going forward. This is also a 40-page book. We're excited to have it be double-sized, because it is basically a double-sized book from anything being put out and speaking from Marvel or DC. If you ever flip through a Marvel and DC book, it's 16 pages of story. So we realistically, and I've said this at shows, if I hit 32 pages, I just double Marvel or DC if I have content that isn't just ads. And I get the ads. Trust me, I'd love to make ads go into the Continuum, but I wouldn't cut it back from 40 pages right now, because this is something we think is important, because this is going to be, and I'll be honest, this is more of a book that you'll see at comic conventions than you necessarily would see in previews. And that's just to keep it all fair. You know, we try to keep money out of the equation. Advocator did that too. It was always about books. You get compensated with books as opposed to money, and that keeps the devil out of the greed. No one feels like they're being short-sighted or someone made more than me, blah, 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 blah. No. So we're trying to make this as transparent as it can be. We have things that we've rejected already, and it's not because we want to reject anyone. It's because we've said this. Terraform wants to be the bridge between amateur and professional, and have a bridge that people walk back and forth on. But we can't just let anyone in the door. We can't just let anyone who's not ready. And it's not because we're necessarily afraid of our sales. We have some great content in here. It's because we don't want to set anyone up for failure. We'd rather tell you the truth and ask how we can help you get you to the next level. Work with you. Go through the steps. Sit you down with the right people. Work like, you know, have someone who's training you, mentoring you for the time that you need to get you to that next level. And you're going to be hearing about people, and hopefully they'll tell the story for us. Because if we tell it, you're going to be like, of course, you're marketing. But when you start hearing creators come out and go, no, man, I gave them something, they saw things in a different way, and they made things better, and now I'm in a different place in my career and in the industry because of the way I worked with Terraform. When you hear that 5-6 years from now, that means we're successful. This isn't just about putting out a book. This is about changing the landscape of comics. And how do you do that? One creator at a time. Or as,
and it's not a 1-year plan. It's not a 1-year plan. We're looking at 5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
10 years, 100 issues in 10 years.
Yeah. And I can tell you from my own experience, you know, going through this process, if, you know, go to the Terraformed Continuum Facebook group if you're at all interested in being part of this process, because I have to say this Reapers is going to be my second comic book credit. My first one was 2 pages in Luke Stone's Sons of Hybrids, the Sons of Gods trade paperback, where he had the additional pages in there. That was my first comic book credit. This is something that C and we were kind of orbiting in the same area, but we didn't really talk until we got into that room, and he was saying, hey, I kind of have an idea of this world, and really like to draw it. And I was like, hey, that sounds right up my alley. I think I can write that. And boom, we started to get together, got the story together, got the art, sent it over into Terraform. And, you know, when by having that mentorship, we had that moment with, you know, with Rob specifically, where he says, you know, there's a couple of things here where you've got those in between moments that could be really important. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And it leveled it up. And it went from a 4-page to a 6-page. Could it have stayed at 4? Yes, but I think it's so much better because of that. And through that mentorship and guidance and just having those conversations together with the creators of it and just another set of eyes so that we're not so close to it, go, yeah, that's going to work. And it's going to be so much better because of it. That's Terraform to me.
Sorry, I'm just talking about my kid. That's why I'm looking down. I promise I'm not being rude. Jax, as everyone knows, always comes first, but I heard everything Meredith said, and I completely agree. You know, it's no ego. It's about helping people. And I know it sounds weird because we're trying to be a LLC, and you expect like Amazon, Walmart to steal your soul, sell all your goods, and make you live in poverty. But, you know, it's not our goal. We're creators. We already live there. Because we already work with companies like Walmart. This is about creating creation that lasts beyond us. This is a legacy project. When you get to a certain point in your career, you start thinking about your legacy. And that's where I am at, and that's where Luke is at, and that's where Varian is at. And we really wanted to, and you'll see some new people in our group, and people are, I've already had, well, why would you put someone who's brand new like Meredith in a position? And I'm like, just because she's brand new in comics doesn't mean she's brand new to the world. And I think people make that mistake. And she's also hanging around with people who have been around. Most people don't know this. I've been in the industry covering it and helping people behind the scenes and advocating for it now for, I think I traced it back to about 2003. So we're getting on 20 years. Well, I didn't release something, so it took me a while. Because again, I was working, you know, I was also training to be a wrestler at a certain point in my career. So I've had that journey too. And that journey makes me a better writer, I think, because I've experienced a lot more than I did before I started. And that's seasoned my creations a lot better. And if I can give back, because people have supported me on my way up. And, you know, I know how it feels to be the new person not taken serious. And, you know, even now, the industry is constantly changing. We're all figuring it out. Every week we meet, every month we meet, and we're talking about the different changes Facebook just did. What are they doing now? What's this month's theme for them to try to screw us over and suppress us, you know? So this is, you know, the more of us together, the more we can have a meeting. When you become part of our alumni, you're part of our alumni. That means you can order books from us, including books you weren't even part of just because you were part of that series. You know, so a new creator who shows up when we're on issue number 10 will be able to order 9 other books at cost and then sell them at their table. And think about that. This is not an anthology. It's a library of creation, which means they're going to be different stories all the time. Sometimes we'll have a theme book. It's been let out of the bag that Barbara's showing up in Terraform. So
did I do that?
You did that.
And that'll be under a different imprint, which we talked a lot about last night. So basically the way that we're going to do something completely different that I don't think anyone else does, except for Scout. Scout does do this right now, but most of them don't. Even Marvel and DC, they've had a horrible time at just admitting this. Our imprints were going to be age sensitive, and that's going to be purposeful. So we'll have Sandbox, which will be for the younger generation. Terraform, which will be your general audience, like teen and above. Like we're going to put the warning track in a teen. And just because we put the warning track there doesn't mean that you can't let your kid read something if you think it's okay. We're trying to just inform parents. Hey, you might want to tag in, read this, make sure you're comfortable with it. Harry Potter was PG because some people don't want their kids knowing about witchcraft.
Right.
We're respecting those boundaries with Terraform. So, and then it's the other end of it. And we were even having a deep discussion about this and how, you know, there was the idea of using plus 17, and I won't have that go on Barbara's book. And I won't do it because there's the NC-17, which, while it doesn't necessarily mean pornographic, it does mean pornographic to some people. So I think we went with mature, because it's one of those weird things. Like, for those who don't know, NC-17 does not mean a 17-year-old can involve with it. No, it means anyone 17 and below is not allowed near the content, which at first sounds like, well, Rob, isn't that what Barbara is? No, Barbara's rated R because a parent who has a teenager, I believe, should be able to decide if their child can consume such content. But that's a parent's choice. That's a parent's right. My book is also educational. So there might be a parent who sees their kid get caught with like handcuffs in their drawer and maybe is concerned about it. Maybe they want to give them a resource. And I'm saying that because it's happened. I've had more than one parent buy it for their kid. And I flat out said, I'm sorry, kid. I would love for you to be able to read this, but legally speaking, even though this is educational, I cannot sell it to you. And the parents turn around and be like, I'll buy it for them.
Mm-hmm. And I want to tag Nita into the conversation too, because she had brought up something that I didn't even realize, because I'm thinking Florida, New York and stuff, but there are some states. And I mean, I know that you had done the research on that, why that rating is so important.
Well, it's critical because depending on the state, even the way you speak and the way your comic could be worded in print, and in some states, if it's considered sexually suggestive, it could be pulled as pornography if sold to a minor. So not only do we have an issue with imagery, it's just a good way to protect the company, period. That mature rating is like, okay, you got Sandbox, E, everyone, Terraform, teen and up, Parent's Choice, that's the suggestive rating, really. And then mature, buddy, I need to see your ID before you buy this from us.
Yeah.
And I never would have considered that, because other states are a lot more strict and some are very lenient.
And some, the wording in their laws are, it's so open to interpretation that even an individual judge in one state, or two individual judges in one state, could have two totally different takes on how that's going to be. So the mature label just protects us.
And this goes back to COMiX code. And the reason we're doing this is because we don't want a COMiX code to come rearing back. We don't want someone regulating us. We'd rather self-regulate and be to parents, hey, listen, yeah, we do. We have Barbara Unleashed. You see this. This is something that I promote my comic book with. There it is. Her tied up there. Nothing bad with the imagery. When I first started out, because I would go around and you see all these guys with girls with their asses hanging out. And, like, hey, I have art like that in my book. Nothing too bad, but, I have this one picture of her hogtied that I had as art. And we're going to be joined by Chuck, and I'll tag him in just after I'm done with this. So I used to hang up that picture, and it was just her ass. It wasn't a big deal. Didn't show anything. And the original picture wasn't even wearing underwear. I had that imposed on because I believe in this line. I can talk all day about adult things, but I don't want to show adult things. I don't want, and there's nothing wrong with it. And that's why the 17 plus I hate when it comes to Near Barbara. The point is, when I hung up that thing, despite my neighbor having something more sexually explicit, the fact that it's tied up, her being tied up, it affects certain people. So to Nita's point, if we go to a certain state where suddenly you get like the judge who was, brought up by Protestants, all of a sudden, and I'm not making fun of Protestants, but fuck it, I'm just picking Protestants. I don't know, man. They're a Protestant, right? And all of a sudden he's upset about it. Nita's right. I could get in trouble. That's why I use easier imagery now. And I've grown up, and I learned that by going to different places and learning the reaction being different in different areas. I still get shit over the free hugs and spanks sign that I have. But I mean, that's really childish, because did the words hurt you? Like, if your little kid understands the joke, there's something wrong because you are raising fucking Stewie and there's a problem. And can I hang out with Stewie? I just want to hang out with him and Brian. Just go time traveling. Chuck, what is going on? Mike wants to know.
What up?
Texas is thawing?
Yeah, we're going to hit up to 70 today.
Nice. Welcome back to real temperatures.
So, yeah.
Are you worried about
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be not in Canada anymore. I mean, it's burst all to crap. Wendy and I fixed it. And now we're just trying to see if all the glue's going to hold. So we'll find out later tonight if we can have water or not.
Good luck, my friend. Welcome to
man.
it. Of course, we're going to switch gears now, and from Continuum, from entering the Continuum, we're going to jump over to the awards because we're strict 1 hour show today, so we're actually already almost done with the show. How crazy is that? We're usually used to hanging around here for it's almost 2.5 hours lately, but not today. So we're going to switch over. We're going to do the awards. Chuck, tell them why you're here to talk about the awards.
I mean, because myself, you, Meredith, and Varian are all effectively co-hosting it, and it's something that all of us really feel was important. Especially, actually, if you want to blame, like if you want to say, "Oh, whose fault is these awards?" It's mine this year. Actually, it is mine. Because at first Rob wasn't going to do it, and it's not even that I wanted to do the rewards; it's that I hated his reason. And so, upon basically saying, no, I completely disagree with you, and then debating it, he was like, okay, I guess we're doing this then. And I was like, shit, I guess that means I'm doing this then.
Careful what you wish for, because you just got it. And, you know, it was one of those things where it was, you know, Chuck brought up the good point. It's actually going to be heard in a video. I recorded some preamble videos today. And I totally threw Chuck under the bus and said, Chuck's the reason that we're doing this, so people don't get mad at me when we're celebrating 2020. But he made a good point. He's there like there were creators who kept creating because, I mean, after the year we had, and this also, the element that we did change in that debate where we had back and forth with each other was like, look, if we're going to do this, I am not judging a damn thing. I will not be there to cast a vote against a creator or for a creator after everyone who just went through 2020. I was like, let the fans own it. And I know Meredith definitely was like, oh no, because me and Chuck did the first year. It started out of comic book school. And now we've expanded with Geek Insider. We brought Meredith in and we brought Varian in for Indie Vault. And in Indie Vault even having their own awards later in September this year. You guys should check that out. And it's always good. For the record, for anyone who doesn't know, I support his awards show. I don't think it's competition. There's no such thing as a competition when you're awarding people for a creation. It's different takes. It's always a great thing. There's nothing but room for acknowledging creators. But when Meredith came in, she's like, ooh, fan awards. Isn't that just a popularity contest? And she's right. It sort of is. We're working on that for the next year. But for this year, it felt right. It felt right to let just people make that choice. Let it be people's choice. Let the fans get involved. And I had creators who have messaged me privately, said, I would put my stuff up, but I just don't want to win an award for 2020. You know, I've literally had people say that. I don't want to ever tell someone I got an award for 2020. It's like,
I don't understand that.
I do. I see both sides because you don't want to be associated with it. And in fairness to them, like I lost my mom that year. So it's a dark year for me, and I'll always remember it painfully. But like you, I remember the good in it too, because of comic book school and what we created. Me and Chuck actually created something together again in 2020. That's our 4th year together creating something. So I get. Yep. I'm with Chuck. I'm with Chuck honestly in the end because obviously I said okay, let's do it.
Well, I think the thing is that like we have to remember, of course there was so much dark, shitty shit that happened, and 2021 so far is not exactly a beam of fucking sunshine. But the other side of things, when we want to look at that silver lining, is Kickstarter brought in more money than it's ever brought before in the comic book realm. Kickstarter had more projects at any one time. When we dropped Belial and a bunch of other stuff in October, it was at its record peak. I think it was 308 projects, comic book projects, all at once, vying for money. And you know what? It didn't drop the percentage of comics that became funded. It's still that number is still going up. So the fact that we were able to get more projects, literally double than the year before, because I think the year before it was like 160 and we brought it up to 308 at the same time. Ridiculous number. And yet that number of funded comics is still going up. I think, how can you not fucking celebrate that? That's huge. It's such a big deal. And I'm sure Indiegogo did great too. I don't know their numbers. It's not my thing. But you know, and so many other ways, comics were huge this year. So I really do think we gotta give the love out for that.
All right, and before we jump into each one, I just want to put this up here. The award for landscape was officially canceled just Friday. That was due to lack of participation. For those who don't know, it has to be 3 or more. We're not just there. It'd be a rare thing to allow 2. I canceled, and for clarity, I canceled the crowdfunding award show one. I'm sorry, the crowdfunding awareness one. There was an award for crowdfunding awareness because there was a point where Backer Paws had some other shows that were kind of taking our format. And me and Chuck were there when we created it in the middle of the holiday season 2 years ago. And we were doing, at that point, it was Kickstarter. I think it was a Kickstarter report at that point. And we were so bored, and it was the holiday and no one was watching. I think we had like one person watching. We didn't have StreamYard back then. It was literally on like OBS, and we were streaming to one place. And we were like, this sucks. And then Chuck's like, yeah, it really does. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get in more trouble for that first one. We tamed it down for the future, and now we have Backer Paws.
Yeah.
Sad news was no one does a crowdfunding show. People mix it up with other things, and it's funny because the crowdfunding show is so popular. Backer Paws has had episodes that go up to 2,000 views, 3,000 views, and it's evergreen. People go back and watch the shows to learn. They really use that. Like, I've had a couple people be like, thank you for that show. It's so educational. I've shared that with Chuck too. There are people who literally thank us because we're ripping apart the attention span of the consumer. You know, it's one of the most amazing things. We have some amazing judges and stuff like that. So it's been a wild ride, but I'm sad. Come on, people, step up and fucking do a awareness for all the shit that's going on. I mean, look at the Kickstarter, the biggest year ever, and there weren't shows dedicated to crowdfunding, except
See, I think like okay, I'm not against it at all, but obviously there's shows out there talking about Kickstarters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, I did so many shows when I was pushing in October and November. So many shows. There's tons of shows out there. They're just not dedicated to that.
And also,
but yeah, certainly. And
they waste your time, Chuck. I've seen you on those shows, and some of them they just start talking about the most nonsense. They get off the topic, and you see the viewership just dropping, just like a rock, because someone says something stupid. And you see Chuck, he's got the smile on, but you know he's got to be uncomfortable. Because he's in his mind, he's like, shit, if this was just a show that had a clear beginning, a clear end, and was just about, because you get told, we'll talk about your campaign. You get 10 minutes, and then for 50 minutes, it's about their dogs that week pooping on a rug. It's about how they felt about WandaVision. You know, and that's my problem with it. I love everyone out there respecting them promoting creators. I just wish they'd promote creators more. Advocate for them more, really take creators' time serious, because I don't do a lot of shows, and there's a reason for that. I have a limited amount of time in my life. I go to shows that take me serious as a creator and sit down and want to talk to me, as opposed to a show that's just using my name to get ratings. And that happens. Let's be honest, it does. And that's nothing wrong with that. Look, Sunday Brunch is that kind of show right now. We're here just goofing off and talking about whatever's on our mind, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it'd be great if there were that crowdfunding show out there that takes a Chuck, mixes him in with one of us from Continuum, mixes it in with them, and all go back and forth about a topic. Hey, guys, tell me about your main character. And go around the room and talk about the main character, you know? I think Chuck will be right back here.
Yeah,
For those who don't know, when you turn off your video now, this is what happens.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
That scares me, Rob. Don't leave us.
During the awards tonight, you'll hear, and now entering the arena. So Chuck will be right back with us. But yeah.
The one thing I was going to say is that, like Nita and I, we have launched Ragin, and we do have an interview segment in it. But we purposely discussed the idea of not having a Kickstarter, because there are other shows, even Geek Insider. We have, I've been gearing Mondays towards being comic books. And of course, we want to do promo. That's what we do as part of our advocacy for Geek Insider. It's something that I enjoy doing as well, but it's not a dedicated show for Kickstarters. That would be really hard. But again, Geek Insider is not comic books only. It's entertainment, it's tech, it's news, it's other things. So we're bringing people in for that. So we would never, I never would have qualified for that show.
No.
Unless we had,
Because we're going outside of comics. So
And that's fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about just for crowdfunding. There needs to be more of a focus for those types of shows. Because a year ago there was. Chuck knows what I'm talking about. A year ago, it seemed like after Backer Paws, a couple people were picking it up and really focusing on crowdfunding. Keanu Reeves came to crowdfunding this year, and we're not focusing on crowdfunding. We're still talking about our dogs farting.
Comics are awesome.
You know what's hard? Consistency.
Right.
That is hard to show up every week or every day and do it.
But Chuck has a great new program, to his credit. Mm-hmm. It comes off as a professionally done, polished show. What is the name, Chuck? Go ahead, tell him about
it. Chuck's Shop Talk.
Give the pitch for the show.
Pimp yourself.
Oh, sorry. I thought you just said, what's the name? Okay. Shit. I'm like, that's the name. Okay, so Chuck's Shop Talk is it's Chuck's Shop Talk airs every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern. And I sit down with a guest and we talk about their processes. And basically the idea is that, yeah, it's fun, it's mean, we're going to have a good time and all that. But I think that the learning has kind of been taken out of a lot of these shows. And so it's really about us sitting there having a good time, but also learning the processes, kind of figuring new things out. We have a very good amount of people who show up live to watch the show and ask questions and really kind of be part of the learning and all that. And we've had some really big guests, actually. We had Justin Gray from DC Comics came in and hung out with me. I've had professional stuntman Chris Cordell show up with me and talk about creating stories and blocking fight scenes and that kind of stuff. Like, we've talked about some really cool stuff. So we'd love it if you guys came out and checked it out. And if there's any guests that you would be excited to have out, please let me know. I know I've had a lot of people come out and say, hey, I have a Kickstarter happening at this time. I'm like, it's not that show. And obviously you don't know that because you're asking me specifically for that. What can you teach us? Yeah.
And I've done that too for Chuck. He's right.
Yeah.
When people are like, I have a Kickstarter. I'm like, okay, but what about you? What makes you special? What makes you stand out? Because I have a show that promotes it. You want to do an interview, give it to something. And I like, Chuck knows this. I don't like doing interviews that much unless it's interesting now. I want someone who's got depth, not someone who's going to tell me about their Kickstarter for an hour. Because let's be honest, you get 5 minutes. That's what the point of Backer Pause. Everything gets about 5 minutes. Because that's it. Either you won them over in 5 or you didn't. And that's the problem is these people want to pitch for, and I've seen
3 for me.
Slowly look at the Kickstarter. Look at this. Right here, I added this to my Kickstarter. Isn't that fantastic? I've done this because I've seen other people do it. I can't stand that. I get so bored, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
Bye, dude.
Well, and that's like, this week I had Stephen Cock on the show. And great guy from Australia. He's a writer, editor, and letterer. And he came out and he taught everyone about lettering. And it was amazing. He had a big show and he was showing off all of this stuff and different things that worked and didn't work and different techniques that he used and all that kind of stuff. And he pitched his Kickstarter. So I have no problem if you come out and you talk about your projects. I've never have that issue. But it's really important that we also teach people. And so that's the main focus. And I think it's a focus that has been lacking on a lot of these shows. A lot of people are doing the let's fuck around and hang out show. And I'm just not interested.
Hey, Mike, this is for you.
Comics are awesome.
And they are awesome.
Now go around the room and say it. That's what he wants.
I did. I said it. It's your turn, Nita.
I said it earlier. I said it first.
Doesn't matter. You have to say it now. Come on. Don't make it weird.
Comics are awesome.
Chuck?
They're all right. No, comics are awesome.
I'd like to thank Chuck for his participation in the comics. It's now over.
Comics are awesome.
All right. There we go.
So sexy.
All right, so let's go over these awards that we have. We have actually just a little bit of time. We're going to go to 6 p.m. You have 6 hours as this show ends to go out, because of course you're going to finish watching the show today, but you'll only have 6 hours once the show ends to back the filing things. Remember, we did cancel one of the awards. And that'll continue if we don't have the participation. We're not just handing out awards. It has to be earned, even in the fan thing. You know, if someone gets, I could have just taken an award this year for the backer pause. I don't think anyone even opposed me. I could have just, oh, cool, look at me, I get an award. I haven't even promoted half the stuff. It's not from the Comic Book School Panel 1, Creators Connection. Right now, available for a free download at comicbookschool.com. If it wasn't for that project, I probably wouldn't be talking about much. I put Barbara up, but some of the times, you know, and I want you guys to hear this, put your stuff up just so people see your stuff. We see that. There's an interest. I mean, we have some awards that have thousands of votes right now, and we have other ones that have 35.
John's not going to pick you up if you're not walking down the street. Let yourself out.
Yeah, you have to make the excitement and talk about it, because I have too many awards to focus on just the award for you and making it prominent. And a lot of credit to Chuck. Chuck shared every single one. And I even said with the Originality Award, wow, I thought I had a base of creators who were on my friends list. Apparently not, because none of you are creative enough to stand up for your IP and talk about how it's original. Or promote yourself. Like, you're dropping the ball. Horse, this is fucking water. Do I have to drown another horse? I'm starting to lose places to hide the horse bodies.
I'm already planning for 21 awards because I'm putting Reapers up there, and you better believe it.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so here we go. This is the awards right now that stands for sequential layout. We have hey guys, this is up right now. Anyone could win at this point. 25 votes is nothing. So this is literally something anyone could win at this point. Here's let's see, we'll show off some work. This is Dan's work. Okay.
Remember, guys, that you can vote for more than one as well.
That's true.
Yes.
Good point. You could vote for every one of these. Boston Metaphysical Society's up for an award. How cool is that? And again, if you're not going to promote it, you're not going to get your fan base to show up. Like, you know, and this is the fans thing. Russ Leach's, look at that great art. You know what I mean? And look at this. This is our front runner right now.
That's the front runner.
And it's amazing. And you're going to have to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. to see who won this particular one. But for now, you can still go out and actually vote for these amazing pieces of work. And during the award show tonight, we're going to be 1 hour. We're going to announce the winners. We might announce one or two of the other people. Meredith, did you even put Luke Stone up here in the
yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so
we
we have
up late though, so we're kind of behind the 8 ball with that. But
it really is sad that, like, you know, creators dropped the ball. I know Chuck promoted the hell out of his cover, but then Monty came in and it was like,
I mean,
Wow.
I'm so proud of what Chris Matt did, but Monty Michael Moore, like, if you're gonna lose to someone, cool. I'm all right with that.
Right?
yeah, it is. Like, I've seen that before. We talked about this recently. The cover for the Continuum. We switched the covers, and I remember when I first saw Russ Leach's cover, I took my cover and like threw it in the trash can. I was like, okay, we're done with that one. All right, that's just trash. Lit the match, threw it, let it burn, deleted every file I ever created.
Poor Rob.
Ice cream.
No.
Cried a little bit. I was like, this sucked. And I reminded myself, wait, you're a writer. So it's okay to suck at art. So you're good. You're good, buddy. It's like the other artists in the room should be afraid of not doing something better. That's all I'm going to say. So that's it. We do have Luke coming out with a cover as a stretch goal. So, and Mike Seeley and of course C have amazing covers in there. So we're really excited. But sometimes you have to just like Chuck said. Sometimes you got to move out of the way. Like, that's just better. Okay, you win. Like, I give up. Shit. Let me get out of your way. So here we go. This is layouts for the we did layout, right?
We did layout.
The next one up is character design. So this one's 12. Catnip's in the lead. Here we have Eclipse, which apparently will be flagged as something else in a few minutes. So look at it before it goes away. Here's Shade. I'm sure that'll get flagged for some reason. Blondie. These are all from Mike Seeley. So he's showing you the different character designs. Here's Catnip. The only thing I'll say about Catnip is that tail bothers me.
Mhm.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, there's a dirty joke about what that tail looks like. But going to be nice, but it is beautiful. That is beautiful art. That's amazing. And I like that she's actually got thighs.
Yes.
You know, and she's, you know, the little curvatures on the boobs, like where the skin kind of folds and leaves that little thing, that's very humanized.
Right.
A lot of credit for that. I love when I see details like that. Here's this Belial cover. Oh my God.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Chris Madden.
Gorgeous.
That is so amazing. Like, I love that. Chris Madden is amazing.
Mhm.
Absolutely love. And you know what's funny? I don't know if anyone else looks at this, but I look at nipple placement. I know that sounds weird, but where the nipples
No,
are,
it matters,
so
dude.
important to
It
me.
does.
It matters. If they're about to poke her eyes out or pointing at the ground or cross-eyed, you know, just
Or not even like, you know,
Cross-eyed.
I've seen them in comics where one would be like over here and then one down here. It's like, no, that's not natural. Rob, you
Or-
gonna show us? Come on.
No. I'm saying, or the shirt's down to here where
Right.
where my nipples would be, but the shirt's cut all the way down there. I'm like, that's not a human.
No,
Right.
right?
She's born without nipples. I need to know now. Does this character not have nipples? Because there'd be nipples there. Just saying. And
You
then
had the nipples.
yeah, but right, me and Chuck have talked about this and he's seen me. The nipple would be there. Why isn't the nipple there? And Chuck's like, let it go. I'm like, no, there's supposed to be a nipple there. Because like the nipple would have to be on the bottom of the boob, like a weird place, like in the curvature down here in the fold area. You'd have, maybe the pencil can hold up now because of the actual nipples holding the pencil. And only a few people are going to know that, but every woman watching knows exactly what I'm talking about, the pencil under the boob. But some guys are like, what the fuck's Rob talking about? Get an education, assholes. Go out there and find out about pencils and boobs. But dude, this is beautiful. Love this. Chris Madden. Fire.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. Really proud of that.
I really like the Tornado Kid. The Tornado Kid was really cool. I really like that we got to, and this is what I love about the awards, and me and Chuck talk about this. We get to see stuff that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so amazing. We had Edward Davis with this character, and he was on our show, Dr. Man. Oh, man. And it was just cool little things. And you guys got to see an actual preview of Cat Dad and Supermom #2. I know Chuck is the editor behind there, and I'm the resident advocate. So I'm super proud of what we have to show as a team and a unit. And who's that? And who's that going to be? You're going to find out soon. We will be announcing within the next 2 or 3 weeks when Cat Dad #2 will be hitting Kickstarter. Martha Schwartz here, beautiful Oz. Yellow Brick Road. Chuck was the one who kicked me in the head and was like, hey, Dick, why don't you show that? You have something for the awards. I was like, oh, yeah, they do. Specs COMiX, The View. And we're going to be actually, for those who don't know, we haven't even said this. Can we talk about the library card real quick? 75 backers. If the Continuum gets 75 backers, every backer will get a PDF file of all these different creators coming together. We're gathering them now. We're up to like 7 creators. If Chuck wants to throw in a book, he can. It's just giving away PDFs to people. We're excited about it. And that means if you back it even for $1, you get one story from the Continuum, the whole PDF pack. And this is also a great way for creators to get a bigger audience, because my audience isn't their audience. This is trading audience without trying to steal someone's email lists or trying to buy an email list. This is doing it and coming together, as what Chuck would say is a community of creators working together. And it really is, because then it's people who are literally brought together as a community. Like my community of creators are real. My friends list is really a community. If you want to be, kind of serious about it, that's a bunch of people who come together, and we come together often, and we do awesome stuff for each other. And Chuck knows about that.
I see Nita shaking her head, though.
She's
got to work.
It's the community. We have to reach a compromise here.
Well, but if it's one, then like if it's both, then it's also one and the other. It's like
Thank you. That was kind of my sarcasm.
No, okay. Well, no, because it's funny. I've had this issue with. I will talk about Belial, and I'll say Belial's my book. And my partner, Sean, said, yeah, it's mine too. And I said, yeah. And he goes, so created by Chuck and Sean. And I'm like, well, I don't need to speak for you. And he's like, well,
Right.
yeah, but you're talking about the book. I'm like, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, it is my book. It is. If he were to walk into a crowd and say, hey, this is my book, yes, you're correct. And I wouldn't feel the need to correct him. Not
Right.
something I think about. But
Right.
yes, it's certainly both. When I'm talking about the fact that it's a community, I'm trying to remind people, because if you forgot that this is an industry, you're a fucking idiot. Like, there's nothing I can do for you.
That was a fucking idiot, Chuck.
It's a fucking idiot thing, right? If you don't know that this is an industry, then I don't know what you're doing here. But the reminder is that it's also a community.
And so
The
this
industry.
is going to be for the architecture, because I've done that show already and I'm not going back. Once I've done a show, go back and see my views. That's why we have evergreen content. So here, look at this architecture, man. That takes me to like New York City instantly. I can smell the hot dog vendors, the urine in the corners, and the millions upon millions of people walking the streets. And it sounds like and anyone who's done a show knows this. You're hanging out with everyone. It's quiet before the floor opens. Everyone's talking. All of a sudden, you hear it. A sound that is people like cattle racing into a room, and they open the door. You see every critter. It's like just like this, and they all run to their tables. they're at their table. They're ready to make their sales. So here's the architecture for today. You guys can vote on this. Remember, and if you go to my profile, I made it really easy. I have the 6. That's actually how we started this today. Right now, this is me talking about the 6 things. The COMiX Devils pick 6. I put all the award links in here for you guys this morning. Talked about the Continuum. Talked about the Sunday COMiX Brunch. Talked about how we're going live at 6 p.m. Talked about the hostess with the mostest, Meredith Lochran. And I put in our link tree because I own stock in Linktree now. And I told you to subscribe to comicbookadvocates.com. That's advocating 6 things in a row. All right. So I want to show other, by the way, we only showed one architecture. Look at this. Pops Van Zandt put in for Timothy Green, the second. This is for Ava's comic, and
gorgeous.
That is fun.
Amazing. Then we have the best colorist of the year. We saw that already, but check out this. This is our front runner, Robert Nugent. Oh my goodness, look at those colors. I love like the lighting he did for the lights is just phenomenal. Just the lighting on the lights alone, add it with the rest, and I'm just blown away. And he's got.
Yeah, see, I'm not an artist, and just how you do that is like, oh my god, it's magic.
Here's Bob Sally actually giving some love.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah, I mean, and then Roland Mann had some great art here too. Check this out. Look at those colors. These are colors from, by the way, let me hold on. It's up here. Sid Van Blue, colorist on the Trumps. So look at those colors. And this is exciting. We get to see this. This reminds me of DC in the 90s.
Silverline didn't submit Divinity? Damn.
Not that I've seen.
Not too late. It's not too late. They need to put up a page.
Well, there's other awards too, remember? So there's always time for the other awards, and there's a lot more. We're not going to go over them today.
Wait, I think I just saw it for something.
Yes.
I saw, Barb. Okay.
So this is for just art in general. Here's Mike Seeley with some stuff. We already looked at that. Here's from Dan Schmidt.
Wow.
Schmidt, right? Yeah, I'll go with Schmidt. All right, so there's that. We got something from Barbara. Here we go. This is from Divinity, I believe.
Yeah.
See, and that could have been up for architecture too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good example of just not looking through the awards. And the awards, as they get bigger every year, I'm sure people will pay more attention to it, you know? I mean, we've had more participation than we did last year, and it's only our second year. And we have the indie budget to go along with it. So it's not always easy to get the information out there. But look at this line work. Oof. That's from Bob Sally's. Damn, you know, I don't know what this. I think this is from his Broken Gargoyles. And that's Stan Yank right there. Amazing. And then look at this. This is from Andrea. No, sorry, Armando. Sorry, Ramirez. So great stuff. And we're gonna splash pages. Here we go. A front runner is, I think this is the post office actually just overtook Rob. This was too close to call yesterday, so I have not been able to make a winning thing for anyone. But there's a lot still going on. Some great art in this one. This is a hard call. Like, look at that.
Wow.
And this was, I believe, what Mike was talking about this. This was the front runner last night, but I believe that it's no longer. No, it is the front runner. Okay. Edward got knocked off because last night Edward was actually in the lead. So this is too close to call. This might go to 6 p.m., guys. And you, again, 14 votes. You could get your friends in a room and get everyone to vote for someone today and take away an award for a creator today and get them to be rewarded. This is one that's very close. Again, the art, this one, I don't know why this one wasn't. This is pinups. I think it's because we said no IP violations, but look at the Only Death Can Save Us from Russ Leach. This is Pestilence. No, is that Pestilence, Meredith?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. And look at this. My God.
That's David Fott, and that's just a beautiful... That's probably the most amazing thing he's ever done. It's just gorgeous.
It really is. And that's our front runner. But check this out from Anthony Moore.
Wow. Mm.
And I think that Anthony Moore didn't even put it up here. Damn. Anthony.
Wow.
Maybe it wasn't from this year. Because I think, qualify. He just never put it in. See, this is a moment where you want to make sure that you're putting it in. And we'll put it in for him right now while we're live. So you guys can, if you've seen it on the show, he can now get the vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Nope. Damn it. This is why we can never end the shows on time. And I have to be at a beach soon to film something. That's why I'm in my Saved by my Belle attire today.
So hot.
Screech, we miss you. Screech, we miss you.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
All right. And last cover of the year, this is the getting closer. Every time I look at this, it is closer and closer to call. Look at this. 167 votes for Honor Bound. Sugar Pop at 123. Dan is not giving up. He is 43. This will be interesting. We might have an upset. And then local hero. See, now the only thing that kind of threw me was that there were 2 local heroes. I think that if he hadn't have split the vote, he might have been further ahead, Monty Moore. Michael Monty. It wasn't him who did it. It was Joshua. And I warn people, don't do this. But look at how many people entered this. 30 people entered. I'm in there. Damn right I am. Stone's rare cover. Hell yeah. I put up Mike Seeley's cover. I know Chuck was in here. We have Dwayne the Showtime Robinson. Just so many covers. And then we don't even have time to look at all the covers, but I suggest everyone do it. We'll throw one out. This is the Sugar Pop right there. That just looks
wow. I like it.
So dirty. I just want to say that. That is.
I love it.
Like, I don't know. Meredith, NC-17. Meredith, NC-17. You know, I think I've actually seen her at the club. All right, guys.
How are all of these not in the pinups, though? Like, because they virtually are. Like, more than covers, they're pinups.
Yeah, and they dropped the ball. And that's going to be an awareness thing. This year, we didn't push the awards as hard as we did last year as well, because there were some people who, and we've had some, like, why would you do an awards this year? Which is funny that we had it. It went away, actually, I think, after the first time me and Chuck addressed it on the video. But there were some people who were like, "Oh, why are you trying to cash in?" To be fair, we don't make any money.
Who's making money?
This is a pain.
We lose money technically.
But I was about to say you can make money here. Fuck.
No, technically, this has cost us money. It's cost us time. We've had to have meetings about it. This is nothing but a pain in the ass for the people involved behind the scenes to do it.
No,
we do it because we love the industry /
community.
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 That sounds weird.
Trademark.
Yeah.
How about
You can trademark it, but I don't see anyone using it.
Damn it, Chuck! Come on, promote me just
How
a
about
little bit, man.
Industrinity? Industrinity. I like that one. All right, there we go. That's it. We're on our way out. We're raced to the finish, and we're already 10 minutes behind. Let's go around the room, starting with the Chuck, man.
What's up, gang? Chuck Pino, Pineau. You can find me on Facebook under that name. You can find me on Instagram under that name. You can find me on Twitter at Chucky Pin. You can find my Chuck's Raw Reviews and my Chuck's Shop Talk on YouTube now. You can also find my my publishing wing, Bonfire Press, on Facebook. Hope to see you guys around. Peace, love, and comics, guys. Good luck with the awards.
And make sure you make a link tree for the Indie Darling. I want
Right?
I should.
yeah.
I'm Nita Lanning. You can find me on Facebook as Nita Lanning. You can find me raging on YouTube with Meredith Lochran, and anywhere else as Creating Chaos 24/7. That's it. I'm out, Rob.
All right, Meredith.
All right, you guys can go over to linktree.com/MEREJ99. So there, it's got all my links, including Terraform Comics. We've got Enter the Continuum right now on Kickstarter. Head over there, take a look around, and just for $1, you guys can get a story. You are Reapers.
Stay right
Okay, that's it for me.
Don't come
See you
on.
tonight at the awards, 6 p.m. Eastern. See, I got it right, Rob.
You know who I am. Want to find out more? Chainlinks.site. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you at 6 p.m. today as the awards finally go live. And we are giving away the awards for the art people. And by the way, everyone who wins today will get a digital ribbon and a digital plaque to showcase their win. Again, guys, an indie budget. What do you expect? Like, what do you really expect? This is indie comics.
You know what? That speaks to the bumps. Maybe next year we're going to have some sponsored bumps. Who knows?
Yeah, and all you who are watching, you all let yourselves down. You're not getting no shine during the award season because you all let that
It's gonna
dirty
be
stuff
all.
offer.
It's going to be like the Rob promo show.
I made a video actually just to mock you all for not making a video. That's what I did.
I can't wait.
It'll be on the awards. That's right. I'm picking on all of you horses. Learn to drink. Don't make me drown you next year. All right, we're out of here. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you when we see you again at 6 p.m. today, Eastern. So do the time conversion things.